Do you guys know the meme that jokingly says, the moment when you're wearing a long skirt and you have to hike it up to carry your laundry up the stairs, and you're transported into being a medieval woman who's worried about making it through the winter? And like, clothes are so powerful, and I want all my clothes to transport me like that. Wow! Clothes! Getting dressed. What's important about clothes? I feel like clothes are so powerful. They have the ability to alter how we view ourselves and how we feel and how we move through the world. And how we dress can give others a glimpse into our own internal landscapes. When I found myself in need of an entirely new wardrobe, I wanted clothes that reflected me as a person. I've also decided that I'm ready to set aside the cultural narratives around clothes that I was raised in. So I didn't want my priority when getting dressed to be how small I could appear or if I would apply to some sort of social standard. So I decided to do some digging into what I did want my priority being when I got dressed. Having language around personal style was a big step in the process for me. I think I stumbled across a TikTok video that talked about style themes, and something that creator said was that the descriptors we have around clothes are often so vague and subjective. They're like casual or professional, and what do those even mean? Descriptors like that lean really heavily on culture to dictate what it is you're trying to convey. And if I'm interested in setting aside the cultural norms for my clothing choices, then I want to be more playful in my descriptors. My nose is so gunky. Okay, but even when I became more descriptive and I found terms like Mori or lagenlook or whimsy goth or goblin core, I felt like they could convey what I meant to some people, but they didn't encapsulate everything I wanted to feel about my clothes. So without further ado, let's get into it. Here are 3 of my personal style stories. First off, we have a shabby romantic Hobbit, because I want the playfulness of a child rummaging in the attic, wearing lace curtains, and every bit of grandma's costume jewelry. We have running barefoot in the garden and mending and making otherworldly clothes with a slow intentionality. I'm venturing into a shabby chic aesthetic with the repurposing of vintage florals and even like hand crocheted doilies. Honestly, the times that you guys have compared me to Rosie Cotton have left me positively bursting with joy. And maybe the jacket that's in the back of my closet was really a quilt I stole off the Brandy Took's washing line. You just don't know. Next up, we have the Tattered Elegant Wizard. First, there's an assumption of magic. I think for me, this is a marriage of whimsy goth and academia aesthetics. There's rich tones and textures. We've got lush velvets and beadwork and big spectacles. I think some of the clothes could even feel dystopian in nature. Maybe a wizard's robes present differently in different worlds or different times. There's more structure given with some of the academic-minded pieces, like the colored shirts or the buttons, but As a wizard, there's also that feeling of kind of falling through time. You know how fantasy books are dated in the best possible way? Sprinkle a little of that in there for me, please. So I might be tending forgotten tomes or just researching components. You don't know. And finally, we have the tender forest sage. I think that a younger me would have probably called this the lost boy aesthetic because I do want that grubby goblin with trinkets vibe. Pixies have probably been helping mend my clothes and they're leaving button offerings, but I also see this as a bit of an older character. Because nature and the beings that live there are so fierce, I'm looking to explore the tenderness of a warrior who has turned her weapons into gardening tools. This is someone who may have had to be hard at one time, but now has the pleasure of growing soft and squishy. She's also probably visited by the Fae on the regular. So yeah, those are 3 of the style stories I'm really having a lot of fun with right now. In approaching clothes as a form of escapism and storytelling, I feel like I'm getting to embrace kind of some slowness and some intentionality and some playfulness in getting dressed. I know that the way I dress is not for everyone, and there are plenty of people who give me funny looks. I really hope that my style stories resonate with those who are looking to notice and to live a little bit slower and to play a little. Thank you guys for listening. I would absolutely love to hear some style stories that are currently inspiring you. So without further ado, that was chunky.